The one who is looking through the eyes is the witness.
Is the witness seeing that? And that's the hard part about it. And it is, I know it's the witness seeing it,
It's still
but there's
Jiva.
something missing. Jiva.
Because the witness became Jiva, so now it is misidentified as a separate entity. So it's not it's the same as the witness, yet it's not the real witness. So ignorance has to be removed, so the Jiva is removed, so it disappears into the witness.
And the only way is through the knowledge. There is no other way. I can see that. But you read it and read it and read it, and you discriminate, you inquire, you talk about it with yourself, or with somebody, if you're so lucky to be like with you, you talk about it. It's a funny thing about how the same things come up. It's just with different words, the same questions come up. It's almost like you feel so ignorant.
Because ignorance, another name they gave it, is forgetfulness. So one can notice the tendency to forget oneself is very strong.
Yeah, why?
Habit. Got used to it so much, over and over and over again, that it's natural.
It believes it.
To forget who I am.
But it
Which is
forgets
not
who
true.
I am, but believes this object is it.
Yeah. The moment I forget who I am, it appears that I am a physical body.
Because I sit in this chair and I look and I said, I'm not this body. I don't even believe what I say.
Because don't do it this way. Go and analyze within yourself. Where is your body? Look internally. Okay, where do I feel I have a body? When I think what I'm going to eat today, and I'm thinking what I'm going to eat, suddenly I think that I'm a body who is going to eat. That I have to discriminate. Let's say I say, oh, I am in Australia, and this place is so magnificent, and I talk about it. This is really good. I really, it's like, I can live here for some time. Who am I referring? Instantaneously, body. So now I don't see the body. All I hear is the voice in my mind talking.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So now I have to realize, wait a minute. Who am I referring to? I'm referring to an I that takes itself to be a body, yet I am consciousness. So this is not who I am. I'm not this voice. I'm not, okay. I have nothing to do with this.
You say that. But
internally.
You say that internally, but there's also something that's saying, do I really believe that?
That means I don't see. When you see it, it reveals inside you.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a good discrimination.
Yeah, it has
then
to
you're
reveal.
Discriminating that I don't see it yet.
Yeah.
And now you go look for it.
Yeah, so you don't see it. Now this basically that means you were analyzing properly. And you were not just deceiving yourself, saying the words, you actually recognize, I don't recognize that there is misidentification. Right. I don't recognize that I am I is consciousness, suddenly is referred itself to a physical body.
Yes.
So the easiest, I don't want to say the easiest, one of the ways is to see anytime you have thoughts about the material world, that means it's always in reference to the body.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because only through the body
can I experience.
You actually perceived through the senses the external universe, the gross universe world. That means, so when in the mind you have any thoughts about the gross external world, start to check, is this I, you, or you don't have thoughts? Okay? I, as consciousness, is thoughtless. So the one who is having the thoughts about the world is not you.
Is not me.
Right? You start from, you discriminate from that vantage point.
Yes.
from the vantage point of consciousness, which is changeless, thoughtless. So when there's thoughts about the external world, it's always would be the little I that thinks itself to be a physical body, yet you don't see a physical body. It's like you don't see, let's say, when you think what you're going to eat today,
It's true.
you're thinking about the food.
Yes.
Now, that's true because when you look through the senses at the gross food, you don't see the eyes that perceive the gross food.
No, that's true.
And you don't actually see anybody there internally, the mind, except it has qualities. You're the witnessing consciousness that witness the qualities of the mind, the senses, and the gross objects, the food. So what happens when you imagine what you're going to eat? Right away you take yourself to be a physical body automatically, out of habit.
Yeah.
You have to check if there is somebody there other than consciousness.
That's right. Yeah.
There is nobody there. I talked about it. There is no really, you can't find even an ego, because the ego is just an instrument for Maya to go through the senses to the gross universe. There is only the witness. And I am that witness. You are that witness. Yet because it is conditioned, reducing itself to a jiva, that it looks like that there is somebody. Yet that being that is inside is the beingness of your true self. This is only the witness. It just because out of habit it identifies itself as a physical body. Then when I have a thought about food, automatically I think there is an ego there. Actually, there is an image of the food, and there is the witness who sees it, and that witness, because it is material, I reduce itself to a jiva.
That's what happens. So
Because its thoughts around the material world means we have to negate the thoughts about the material world, have more thoughts about the Brahman world, then it would be much easier to reveal the illusion of the material world.
That's the reason for the knowledge.
Yes.
Right there it is.
Yes.
It's to make that discrimination immediately, even though the illusion happens.
Yes. The illusion is, he said here, he said, the illusion, it's like to take only that which is seen as true, that means a thoughts about the material that appear as true, is a sign of ignorant jiva. And to think carefully, after having seen, that means after the thought appeared about the material, to think carefully, that means you analyze it, you question it, you discriminate it, you check, is it real? This, and decide what is true and what is false, is the sign of a knower. Means, in the process, when you examine, you start to see, wait a minute, there's thoughts about eating food, yes? And it looks like I am the one who's gonna eat, yet who is that one? Who is the one who's gonna eat? So it's the body, except the one who's thinking about the body is not the body. The one who imagines is gonna eat never eats. So there's what body? So it looks like there is an I there, right?
Yes.
I am gonna eat. I come. It's like if one wants to understand what knowledge is, knowledge can be even one sentence. I am the Supreme Self. So now I go back to the discrimination. I imagine what I'm going to have for dinner. So suddenly I'm thinking, oh, this would be really nice to eat. And I question, okay, who is that one who's going to eat? I. Except I is devoid of body. I is the Supreme Self. I is changeless. I is consciousness. Consciousness is I. So this is not real. This is just a fantasy, imaginary. There is an imaginary world that there is an I that is going to eat food, and tonight it's all going into the future. It's all around body. Yet I am actually witnessing it all right now. I'm hearing it internally. All this dialogue that is happening. So I am the listener. I am the witness. I am not the one who is having dialogue. Maya is thinking. She's the thinker. She's using the buddhi now to analyze it. So I see clearly what is true and what is false. As I stay like that, it can be that suddenly, after the discrimination, the thought disappears. I remain.
Yeah. When the thought disappears, you remain.
Yeah. So I remain, thought appears, and might be ignorance out of habit, then have to discriminate it.
Yeah, as you talked, a story came up in the sense that there was some book that said it, I don't know if it was the Bible or somewhere that is, that you have to return to a child in order to enter the gates of St. Peter or whatever it is, or heaven and all that. What they were saying in that statement that we've changed so often is the fact that we have to go back to a time before we've been programmed.
So
right?
For liberation,
yeah,
it's not being a child. It's coming back to the beginning, before the beginning.
Before the beginning.
Yeah. So when I hear these words, I realize, okay, I can see that if I go into the future is only body identification. So actually I cannot bring the now into the future. Basically what happens, the future come back to now, it appears now.
Yes.
Now can go to the past.
Yes.
So I see that the process is to go back to the past. So come back to a child is pointing, go back, return to where all began prior to it. Go back. This is what I hear.
Yeah.
People can take it and try to mimic being a child, and they totally get confused.
You got to go back that far, which is what I'm assuming, or I'm saying, that's Brahman world. And then the next is to dissolve yourself into the Brahman world. Yeah. And that's when you mean go beyond that, go back beyond that point.
Because Maya, when she becomes knowledge, she is transparent. She merges instantaneously to Brahman.
Into the Brahman or into the witness?
When she merges,
then she merges into the witness first. Then she's in the Brahman world.
Yes, so when she merges into the witness, the witness doesn't see. Then it's Brahman. Right? Because witness is same as Brahman.
So that means when it doesn't see, it's Brahman. Wow.
Brahman alone exists. What is there to see?
So once you're in the Brahman world, I'm going to use a word, you live in the Brahman world now, or you're in the Brahman world.
This is abiding.
It's called abiding.
Now it's abiding. One has to abide for some time.
Okay. That's the word abiding. And that is not known when that will happen.
It will never happen in the future. You go back.
You can abide it into, and into the next reincarnation too.
So it's the abiding means thoughtless.
Yes.
So the more you have glimpses and can hold on to it,
Okay.
you're abiding.
Yeah, that's, okay, yeah. And that's through a technique
So it's,
or the knowledge again?
yeah, it's also
Well, we're
knowledge.
sort of abiding now in this discussion, right?
It can be. It depends. I do not know for anybody. It's like two things can happen. First, one is activating Maya. So she's now active, busy, and there can be understandings, revelation, seeing. So that means there's more illumination.
Yes.
Another thing that can happen is that there's just hearing with no thoughts. If you hold on to that, then you are actually, the attention start to be witness, because still it's witness.
Still witness.
Yes,
Yes,
because it's even witnessing
We go in and
the
out
noise,
of it.
yeah.
hearing the
So
noise.
that means,
Yes.
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 Yet as you hold on to the witness, basically there's clarity. So there's more seeing, seeing the illusion. So the Maya can start to use the buddhi to discriminate.
So
She
you're-
has to awaken that discrimination
so you're in a
faculty.
state of knowing and seeing, that's where you are. You're in that state of knowing and seeing, and that's all. You have no other ability, there is no more ability to be in the outer world. Because that's all you see and know.
In that, so if once you go
At that
in
moment, when
that
you-
moment,
At that moment.
In that
then
moment.
yeah, so that means you more inward. So basically, when for the question, is there a technique? The whole journey for Maya is withdrawing.
So that's.
Withdraw from the external gross universe. Withdraw from the senses. Withdraw from the lower mind to the higher mind. If the higher mind, the lower mind appears, she would question it, analyze,
Right.
discriminate.
Right.
Stay in the higher mind, and she merges into the source.
Okay, so she doesn't merge into the witness, and the witness can fluctuate back and forth?
She when she's in the higher mind, Maya, you are now witnessing her.
Yes.
So the identity with ignorance is gone.
Gone. Next state, that's gone.
So so already the false identity gets weaker and weaker and weaker.
So that's okay. Okay. That's our experience.
You cannot suffer when Maya is in the higher mind.
That's right, cannot.
You only suffer in ignorance when you believe that you're a person, somebody.
Yeah, cannot suffer otherwise.
Must be why we're not suffering anymore. Huh?
It's only in the ignorance.
You said before that the personality and the organism still exist in this relative world, huh? They don't disappear.
For a liberated being, the organism continues. Prana take care of the organism, because the prana in the body and the prana in the
That's
mind.
all can do it, because there's no more mind.
Right.
The mind is gone.
Yeah.
So there is no more mind. So
So there's no relative.
there's no relative.
So
So the
there's
wit-
only the absolute.
Yet the witness sees it all.
Yes. Sees what?
Sees everything.
What is there to see? When there is no thought, what is there to see?
Actually, to answer that, I have to answer
And
it
there's no,
in a way that could be misunderstood.
You smile
See,
because you
I
know
see-
the truth.
Yeah, I think I know. Well, but
When there's no thought, what is there to see?
there's nothing,
nothing.
nothing. Yet the eyes perceive. That I understand too. And I witness it. That's the funny part.
So actually, when there's no thought, that's when Maya is dissolved into the witness.
No, she could be in the higher mind.
When there is no thought, Maya is asleep. When there is no thought,
I'm awake, but there's no thought.
right, Maya is asleep
Right?
and you are the witness.
So you're awake.
You're awake.
You never sleep anyway.
Yet it's not, this is just glimpse.
Okay.
She's asleep, so because she hasn't fully dissolved, she will wake up again
Oh, damn.
and become the thinker. And so now there is, the ignorance has to be removed.
Yeah, you have to.
So yeah, she's asleep while you are awake. In the waking state, you're the witness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Now when it's more and more she's asleep, you remain the witness continuously, so you never sleep. So there is no waking and sleeping and waking and sleeping.
You're always awake.
You're always awake.
Yeah.
It's the next phase.
I'm familiar with that one.
Not from the Maya point of view. Yes? Not from the sleeper Maya. Because for the sleeper Maya, when she doesn't rest, asleep, so then we call her, she has insomnia and different things. Yeah? No, we're not talking about that.
That's actually the jiva, which is actually the witness, and it's the jiva, but it's a jiva that is turned, identified through the senses.
Yes, still
It's
misidentified.
still misidentification.
Yeah. That's the
So simple. It's so simple, the mechanism, how they figured this all out.
saw it, realized the truth.
It's not complicated.
No, what's more challenging is to put it into use
Yeah, that's the challenge.
because of habit.
Yeah.
The determination has to be strong conviction to stay inside.
So it's
Only when
the habit
Maya,
that pulls you out.
yeah, only when Maya can really stay inside in the higher mind steadily, she can go for liberation. Because if there's no strong conviction, when the ignorance gonna play itself out, it can pull the attention completely out, and Maya knowledge can be dormant, forgetfulness, and now it can play itself out.
So silence, I can understand, now I can experience this. Silence alone is not enough.
No,
I just experienced it.
yeah, it has to be with knowledge. Then silence is an aid.
The silence has to be filled with knowledge. The silence has to be filled with knowledge. Otherwise you slip out.
Because silence is absolute knowledge.
Hmm.
Silence is absolute knowledge.